There's a 20 billion tons of CO2 emission happening every year. So I used to read these articles, and frankly, I couldn't make sense of it. Is this a big number? Is this a small number? Is this a problem, or is this what it's supposed to be? Because you can't comprehend that number, what it means.
Right.
And we have all gone through a very mathematical background, and we still can't comprehend it. So I'm wondering, how do you expect people to relate to these crises?
Yeah.
So I've been kind of looking for, how do you, express the gravity of the situation? How do you make people kind of relate to some of these numbers? So it was an interesting incident that my daughter was in 6th grade. So she was reading her biology textbook, and there was a chapter on photosynthesis. So I read it at that time.
Okay.
And it's interesting, when you read a 6th grade topic after 25 years of professional life, you discover some new insights.
Yes.
And it was like an aha moment for me when I read that chapter.
Chlorophyll.
What aha moment was that the tree that we see is nothing but combination of water and CO2. That's it. Soil has very little role to play in it. It is just CO2 and water combined. So then I became curious that, as human beings, we are obviously generating CO2 through our fossil consumption and so on, but we are also breathing in oxygen and breathing out CO2. So it was just a curiosity, how much CO2 we breathe out in a day, and how much CO2 we breathe out in a week, in a month, in a year, and over our lifetime. So it turns out if you do a simple spreadsheet, over a lifetime, we actually breathe out a lot of CO2 as a human being, because we are consuming food. That food is getting oxidized, generating CO2, and if you integrate over entire lifetime, the amount of food you eat and the related organic matter is quite a bit, right? So then this thought triggered, if I want to compensate for that CO2 that I have generated. So it turns out the calculation is simple. If you plant 14 trees, you will neutralize the entire CO2 you have breathed out in your lifetime.
Oh my God.
So it makes now sense that at least I should plant 14 trees before dying. That is the least I should do. And that's something that people can easily relate to, rather than 20 billion tons of CO2, right? So